I think it's natural now that we realize people care more about safety, even more so than quote unquote liberty. They want to feel safe. And sometimes we're trying to convince them that liberty is the safe route. But there's always concerns. Well, what about Social Security? And in fact, my parents have told me this. Funny, they're quote unquote conservative, but they are concerned about their Social Security, and they're of that age. If, let's say, in a year from now, there's this process to get Texas its independence, and they're going to grant us that, if we can even use that term, what would something like Social Security, what would that look like? And because they're going to say, well, I paid in, and it's not fair if I don't get it. And if we break away, that we're not going to get it. What would that look like?
So one thing is just to let, especially for the younger listeners to know, and I realize it's not addressed to your parents, that the Social Security and Medicare systems are utterly bankrupt. Like, even, I quote this in the pamphlet, even according to the government's own actuaries or the trustee report that recently came out. I'm just looking at it. So over a 75-year horizon, Social Security and Medicare have a combined $68 trillion shortfall, right? Meaning they would need $68 trillion right now to start investing and rolling over, earning interest, to be able to fund the mismatch between, workers' payroll contributions and Medicare premiums going forward and the outgoing benefit checks. They would need $68 trillion right now just to plug that gap over the next 75 years. So clearly, younger people now who are paying into the system, they're not going to get their promised benefits. That's mathematically not going to happen. So what I said, though, in the pamphlet is yeah, at first that did seem like a hard question, but then I realized, well, no, it's actually conceptually pretty easy. Right now, under the existing system, if a U.S. citizen decides, I want to go live in France, and moves to France and then changes his citizenship, he still gets, his Social Security payments. He doesn't get Medicare, but that's not because he renounced his citizenship. It's because Medicare is only going to fund U.S. based healthcare, right? So, but you still, there's formulas and stuff like that. You got to have eligibility requirements, but in general, if you leave the U.S., you don't lose your accumulated, Social Security benefits. And so I was saying, conceptually, then it should be the same thing, like to just handle it simply without changing rules and come up with arbitrary procedures. If all of a sudden a bunch of people who currently live in Dallas then become citizens of a foreign country, namely the Republic of Texas, it's the same thing. They should just, just say, okay, I'm living in a different country now, but still, I'm going to get my Social Security benefits just like I would have had I remained in the U.S. So to me, that's conceptually how it. Now, you could say, well, the U.S. government might be mad and not do that. I can't control what the U.S. government does to retaliate, but in terms of the accounting or the logistics, they do have procedures in place right now if a U.S. citizen goes to another country.